Mesologue in 3 chapters, an introduction to our new heroes. Chapter 1. Luck. Ranpram Sneedbar is an old gnome. For centuries he and his people have resided in the hidden Fey Grove of Vanistrum, an oasis from the harsh, swamp-ridden jungles of the Wyvern's Tail. The Grove was once a peaceful village in the Feywild, until unforeseen events turned their idyllic environment of eternally verdant spring forests into a frigid and inhospitable landscape of dead trees and icy gray skies. This was the story Ranpram had studied, anyway, the history of his people taught by the elders of the Grove. He learned the patron and ruler of Vanistrum, an archfey known as the Oak Princess Menestra, chose to sacrifice her physical form to save her people and their homes. She was transformed into a vast and great oak tree, enveloping the village in her draping branches, and transporting Vanistrum from the Feywild into the material plane, where the malicious forces that sought their destruction could no longer reach. To this day, she shields them from outsiders that mean harm, and shelters the weak or lost or injured. Pram, however, always had his sights set outside the Grove's boundaries, a brand new world, alien to their ancestors, but nevertheless home in the present day, lay just outside waiting to be explored. Pram's curiosity was never something that could be fully sated, and as it turned out, preventing the young gnome from engaging with that curiosity made him a danger to himself. When Pram had been grounded for disobeying the elders and nearing the village border, a week into his house arrest they discovered a streak of bleached hair on his scalp. Fey gnomes may undergo bleaching when they lose their luster, their desire, or drive for their purpose in life. Fearful of the outside world, but knowing Pram would never cease his attempts to roam free, the elders decided to, at the very least, ensure Pram was armed with the knowledge and skills to help him survive. Another few years of waiting seemed torturous, but Ranpram's thirst for new knowledge was somewhat slaked by learning of botany, alchemy, history, and arcana, as well as how to wield a blade. Soon enough, the gnome had become a young explorer and archaeologist, as well as a talented artificer, and was allowed to begin exploring the perimeters of the village and its surrounding areas. The knowledge he gleaned was invaluable to the elders, and often he would stumble upon remnants of this new world's forgotten past, like fuel to the fire of his inquisitive mind. Pram had several companions over the decades, adventuring parties from Vanistrum itself, lending their skills to his exploration and learning from him as their guide. On one of their expeditions, Pram and his companions discovered an aged obelisk with ancient secrets hiding beneath.
You realize quickly that these primordial on each face, on all 4 sides of this thing, appears to be a riddle. You have me today, and tomorrow you'll have more. As more days pass, I prove difficult to store. I take up no space. I exist in one place. And when you see my face, I'm never the same as before.
Time? No. It takes up no space.
Takes up no space.
No
I exist
space.
in one place.
One place.
Memories.
Yeah, I was gonna be like
Memories.
home or something.
You watch the engraving fade off. And
I
now
remembered that one.
all that remains is riddle number 1, the one that I determined to be the easiest.
Yeah, but
first.
hey, we're not smart. We're just clever.
What belongs to you, but is used most likely by others?
Chanel, if you know it, you could say it.
Oh, I knew it. I wrote it down.
Emon.
Your name.
Sorry, name.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
I like the flavor of you guys thinking, and then you hear someone say your name over your shoulder, and you turn back. I think you're a poacher who's arrived just as these people have unlocked this monument. And as you say your name, and they all turn around,
I
the
knew that.
obelisk gongs and starts lifting, floating upwards, revealing a ladder and some kind of interior underground.
Dibs.
We'll be taking over, and I go first. A elven sort of.
Elf.
Okay.
Half elf.
Half elf looking person. What's this person's name, Shanoa?
Freya Red Mace.
You guys are led downward by Chet and Barbosa, who threaten you at sword point. And when you get down into the chamber below, there is a a kind of altar set in the center. It's this sort of tiered, multi-leveled pyramid shape. It has a kind of socket in the center, and it has what look like channeling lines, essentially lines that magical energy would run through to reach other sort of rune circles that would have different effects. So you could draw a teleportation circle and then make a line running from this altar to that circle, and then something you hypothetically put in that altar would power the spell. Freya seems more interested in the murals and carvings on the walls, which depict these bald, no-nosed figures floating, almost levitating off of the ground, with lines of radiance around them, depicting them as something greater or holier than all the others kneeling down after them. You can see depictions of the Kalishtar, basically the old races of this world from the accounts of history that you've seen. You can see depictions of these creatures with snubbed bat-like noses and large pointed ears. You can see ones that look human but are shorter, and their eyes always have these sort of symbols etched into them, which is primordial for the word sight. All of these figures are kneeling before these sort of lifting, almost angelic superiors, as these murals would clearly indicate. Beneath the mural, there is an old chest, which I think quickly either you or one of your cronies you order to start trying to get open.
Yeah, I order Barbosa to open it for me.
He like gets his fingers in there and starts trying to break past the lock that's on it.
These mirrors are in excellent condition.
Pram and Chomsky and Smarnoff. You all are down here more or less as hostages. However, currently nobody's watching you. They're trying to get this chest open, and Freya is looking at the murals.
Can I use a bonus action to hide?
Yeah.
Miss, I don't know if I don't believe I caught your name, and it would be a shame to be so hostile at this juncture. Perhaps we could, both work to get this loot, if you know what I mean.
The name's Freya. Meetings are overrated, but I will gladly take your assistance.
All right. Can I take a swing at that box?
Go for it, but you're not owed anything.
As you open it inside, you can see a scroll for the spell Soul Jar.
Ooh.
And I think there would be a piece of metal, like a piece of like black wrought. It almost looks like cast iron. But as you pick it up, it's kind of sleek, and it extends, like it telescopes outward. And it becomes just a staff with an empty slot at the top where a gem or a crystal ball or some kind of arcane thing would go, but there's nothing in it at the moment.
Barbosa, secure the items.
He goes, "Get off!" and she sort of nudges you, Smarnoff, and goes to take the scroll and the staff from you.
She looks around.
You look around, you don't see Pram anywhere.
Chet, look for him.
On it!
On it!
It gets low.
boss.
You gotta think like a gnome.
I think that's racist.
Yeah, it is.
She's gonna go.
For sure.
Very offended.
She's gonna go study that center pillar as
Okay.
well.
And Barbosa hands you the stuff. You quickly learn what they are, and I think probably put at least the scroll in your bag.
Yes.
But you realize the bottom of the staff can slot nicely into that altar.
Oh.
I do so.
You get the piece of Arcanite as best you can in those jaws, and then set it in the center. And you watch the Arcanite flare, and then slowly begin to dim. You watch again as instead of a light like passing behind these runes, they sort of start to glow brighter and brighter, and this time it does extend down the lines and reaches at least 2 of the circles. You watch as your Arcanite, maybe not of a purity that you once thought, starts to crack a little bit. And then I think there's a scream that's cut short from both of them. just like that. And there's a flash where these fields, these cylinders that they're kind of contained in, just go bright white, as if the entire thing is filled with light. And you like cover your eyes. If you were hiding in shadow, it no longer exists. before your vision is just like black from sun blindness, and you sort of blink it away. And when you look around, the room is filled with like a faint green kind of smoke, and I think there's broken bones and dust in each circle. And when you look for Chet and Barbosa and Freya, you can see Chet is pinned to the wall with half of a broken staff through his heart. Barbosa is on the ground with Arcanite all up through his neck and over half of his face, like shrapnel. And I think Freya has one arm limp down at her side and is one-handed climbing up the ladder.
Chapter 2. Fire. Hans Offen was a dwarf living on the northern end of Aranos, cradled in the Whitespine Mountains. There, a small but hardy village called Herdstein was settled in and about centuries-old ruins. When the founders of Herdstein emerged from underground, the city above was nothing but rubble, not even a body to be found. All they discovered was a split in the earth that burned higher and hotter than any bonfire, like dragon's breath. They dubbed it the Hearthfire. Hans was a member of a circle of druids run by his mother, environmentalists looking to push back against the speedy industrialization of their home. Ambitious dwarves had utilized the Hearthfire to fuel steam in coal-powered machines. Hans's mother claimed it to be unnatural, or at the very least harmful, with all the smoke, smog, and ash they produced. It just so happened this advancement was indeed dangerous, but not for the reasons she feared. While Hans, his fellow druids, and his goat companion, Abraham, were attempting to purify the town's water supplies and streets, there came a great beating of wings from above, and the town trembled as a dragon descended through the wind and snow.
And so you have druids on standby. Abraham is with you. You've got some clerics and some knights sort of watching overhead with weapons half drawn, waiting to see if this thing is actually landing here. Mm-hmm. It lands on a cliff's edge nearby, and
This is a large crystal dragon with lots of iridescent floating crystal spines along its back, and it looks towards the people of Hearthstein. People of Hearthstein, I come bearing warning. It is I, Fraktazar, says boastfully. You must take up arms and defend your town, your beautiful forges, for there is great danger coming your way. Pathamat the White Dragon of the White Spine Mountains, has amassed an army.
That's no good.
That's right, citizen, it is no good. You must
What do you want
prepare
us to do
yourself.
about it? Like, dragons are fucking big and really hard to kill.
You've got a fucking point.
perhaps you could gift him something to aid him in this fight.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I shall bestow a gift. A gift of the most.
Good boy.
Sorry, don't know why. It's just
I pat myself down and I pull a spine out in the shape of a beautiful ornate staff, and I gift it to citizen who has showed great promise.
Hell yeah!
you hear Fraktazar and the rest of the citizens begin to hear rustling foliage, footsteps in snow, and flapping of more wings. You quickly look, and there are ghostly white figures starting to peer out of the tree lines and work their way up ruined buildings in the city of Syzygy. You could see kobolds and dragonkin, and overhead you can hear the sound of a white dragon obfuscated by the giant cloud of gray smoke that you've created as its is sort of coming into range, you can hear this booming voice from above that just says, "Where is that crystalline bitch?" And there is beams of ice, like a fresh several feet of snow falls, and you see a few people like get injured as just heavy snow falls on top of them.
Instant frostbite.
Yeah, some people get very cold, some people like damage their eyes as like the sharp frozen stuff falls on them, broken bones, and you think it was this thing's breath that sort of caused that. Fractazar, you look around, this thing's minions are probably gonna have to be to the citizens to deal with.
Man the ballista!
Got a blast.
You fly. Fractazar takes off. There is an arduous battle that ensues. Fractazar doesn't have any forces. It's just them, but they are distracting Pathamat and seem to sort of take the fight in areas of the ruined Syzygy that are not currently inhabited.
Hans quickly turned to the defense of his people and home, aiding his fellow druids to fend off the forces of white-scaled dragonkin, as above him dragons raged in the storm of snow. His new staff felt powerful, and his foes fell in fountains of wildfire when he heard a fearful bleating from behind. Abraham had been headbutting kobolds into the hearthfire, but was now at the mercy of a large muscular dragonkin raising a jagged blade overhead. Hans's rage burned inside him and was channeled by the staff into a wave of flame, much too powerful for Hans to control. Both Abraham and the dragonkin were thrown backward into the hearthfire itself, their bodies gone in an instant. Hans fell to his knees in shock, weeping for his friend, when out of the golden white light arose a divine spark, which took the shape of Abraham, like a ghost wreathed in flame, a spirit of wildfire. Together they rejoined the fray, and soon enough the battle was won, with the wounded Fractazar successfully fending off Pathamat the White. Hans was left with the staff as a symbol of patronage, and Fractazar vowed to return should Pathamat decide to come hunting. Abraham's spirit form was different, but delightfully familiar, and their bond only seemed to have deepened. Hans began experiencing fleeting emotions or images as if sent from his companion's mind. Through this limited communication, Hans found Abraham had a strange new craving or yearning for dragon's eggs, of all things. Chapter 3. Ice. Thalminar The Frost-Chained is a half-elf who grew up in the Wyvern's Tail archipelago, in a little island village called Mossberg. There he tended to the sheep and attended church and his studies, but was known for mischief and getting into trouble in his youth. It seemed whenever one of his friends brought out the word bet or dare, something within Thalminar decided there were no odds he could not surpass. The village always had a hand in tending to Thal, but he was raised by his aunt Tesia, a priestess of Ara the Lover. One day, Thalminar's 13th birthday to be specific, he arrived home to find his aunt and most of the village huddled for a surprise party in their cramped home. He accepted gifts and congratulations warmly, and after the party began to die down, Tesia pulled Thal aside to tell him something. Something she'd been waiting for him to be old enough to hear.
Tesia pulls you aside.
Thal,
Yes?
it is your 13th birthday.
Yeah, I'm a man now.
Well adult enough to take care of yourself now.
I see. I'll be gone in the morning.
You don't have to leave. It is me who is going to be leaving you.
Why?
I have some unfinished business that I need to take care of.
Can I come with you?
No. You cannot.
Okay, well, I guess I'll be on the island if you need me.
You have had a lot of promise. You don't need to stay here forever.
Well, as long as they don't kick me out, I guess.
I'm sure they won't kick you out for freezing all of their sheep. You have some promise with magic.
Thank you.
Just know that Area looks over you.
I'll try and remember. Say hi to her.
And I will be looking over you as well.
Thank you. Where are you going?
Maybe Cornolia. Maybe, further east.
Wow, that's very far. That's very far.
This. But some secrets are best kept hidden. At least for now.
Okay, I'll help you pack whatever you need.
I'll be packing light.
You help her get together some simple traveler's clothes, her sort of cleric vestments. You walk with her to the edge of town and sort of say your goodbyes as she gets on a boat to make her way up the archipelago and onto the main continent itself. Tezia, as you sail away, you see Thal waving on the shore.
I'm gonna yell after her.
Okay.
Look of the wyvern with ya!
I give little wave.
As he blips out of sight, you sort of look at the things you've packed with you and you unwrap them. You have a box given to you by Thal's mother.
Yes.
And you open it because you yourself have not opened it yet. Inside there is a letter with your name. And there is a rolled up scroll with something in it. There is a sack of money. There would be, when you open the letter, something falls out, and it would be a locket that has a picture of young Thal's face in it. The letter is from Thal's mother, and it says, "My dearest sister, I am ever so thankful you have agreed to undertake this task. I gift you the only thing I leave behind." And I think that would be the end with the locket. I gift you the only thing I leave behind, and it is the locket. And then there's a note on the scroll that's rolled up that says, "Deliver me to Syzygy," alongside a wand that has a gemstone set to the center.
Sometime after Thal had been taking care of himself, mysterious travelers arrived in town, calling themselves Jeremy and Isaac, claiming to be from a nearby city on another island in the archipelago. The villagers regarded them as very curious but likely bad news, and believed their story to be a bold-faced lie. The archipelago had been explored, there were no cities on other islands. But the travelers' weapons and battle scars dissuaded anyone from calling their bluff. Thal, however, was too inquisitive to ignore them. He introduced himself, and the two travelers were happy to engage in conversation and drinks. They told Thal they were from a city called Evace, a city that can move, which is how they arrived on the nearby island. But it seemed no matter how much they insisted, Thal simply couldn't believe their story. And so they said the magic words. "How much do you want to bet?" Soon enough, Thal was in a boat, shoulder to shoulder with Jeremy and Isaac as they rowed to the island and trekked to their home. Thal was astonished to find the city of Conjuration, the grand city of Evace.
So there's this sort of basalt plateau, dark stone like you're used to, but then on top of it, there is an enormous granite and marble foundation on top of which rests the entire city of Evace. It's like a patchwork of white and gray stone, and there are 13 immaculately carved spires surrounding the city in a circle which curve inward toward the center like rib bones or long teeth. They are made of pure gold arcanite, which is the kind of arcanite that's used in conjuration magic.
By the Pantheon.
They glow with a sort of dim light from within, like it makes their exterior shine kind of orangey yellow. And sure enough, the whole place that looks like it doesn't belong. It's not made of the same kind of stone, not the same kind of architecture. They don't have the mossy covered rooftops that you had. This place is out in the open. If like a dragon flies by, it's definitely gonna spot it. Yeah, you're just completely bewildered as they lead you up to the city itself, and you're able to enter.
I hold out my hand expectantly.
I don't know how much I have on me. I'm like,
Well, hopefully you brought your silver. Because it's a poor thing to go in debt to a new friend. We'll call it even.
I'll pay you back.
I'll hold you to it. You owe me one.
No way, this can't be. How did this...
After endearing himself to Jeremy and Isaac, Thal was inducted into the organization they worked for, a guild known as Fortune's Law, a sort of council of seers and sages that divine portents and omens through the drawing of a powerful deck of cards. It is said anything could happen when a card is drawn, but the events that unfold from the card's power may speak to future events, just as past events inform our present. Thal, alongside the likes of Jeremy and Isaac, were typically agents sent to confirm or deny the accuracy of a reading from the deck of many things. On one such mission, the three friends entered a cave outside the city in search of a creature that was supposedly stealing livestock. When Thal was asked to draw a card from the deck to foretell of these events, it bore the visage of snarling, bloody fangs and scarlet eyes. It was his guidance that brought them to the cave, searching for a bear or direwolf as the culprit. While investigating, however, Thal found himself briefly alone as Jason and Isaac stepped outside.
Now, while you're in here, sort of looking around, you examine the bodies as well. You could see throats ripped out, stomachs opened, ribs snapped.
Can I discern what may have done this?
Whatever this thing was, it uses claws prominently as a weapon, possibly a cat. Whatever this thing was, it was large.
Definitely a puma.
It swung from up high downwards in an arc, which triggers bipedal in your brain.
A bear?
And I think it's about that time you hear, and you turn around, and there is a silhouetted figure with a white gloved hand that is gently cupping the end of a cigarette. And it sort of pulls away. All you can make out is sort of contours of cheekbones, the bridge of a nose, the rim of a bowler hat, and it's only illuminated with the flare of an orange glow as it inhales on this cigarette, and there's a thin trail of gray smoke leading up in front of its face. Its gloves seem to almost glow, like as if neon white. They're just pale with like silvery moonlight. And aside from that, I think maybe you hear movement of fabric as if it's wearing robes or a suit, and it is shuffling a deck of cards with one hand.
Is this from inside the cavern or from where we entered?
It appears to be blocking the entrance and is sort of regarding you.
I draw my sword and kind of point it in the general direction. Who's there?
You hear a voice say,
Quite the risk.
I don't know what you mean. You're not supposed to be here. There's beasts in the area.
Thalminar, slayer of monsters.
How do you know my name? Who told you? Did you meet Jeremy? He's a nice guy. Did you meet him on the way here?
I don't think you know your friends like you think you know them.
How am I supposed to know him?
How much you want to bet?
I think I know them pretty well.
he snaps his fingers, and the deck of cards slips out of his sleeve and back into his hands, and he starts shuffling it again. And you can see one brow is raised. And he says,
The count of three we draw.
10 of spades.
Ace of clubs.
He says, I'd bet. You don't know your friend at all.
And you hear a scream from outside.
Jeremy!
You rush outwards, and there is a bipedal wolf-like beast standing 9 feet tall. Its claws buried to the knuckles in Jeremy's chest and holding him up in the air underneath the moonlight.
You bastard!
It turns to you, and you can see the shreds of Isaac's clothing surrounded it.
Why are you wearing Isaac's clothes?
You feel a tap on your shoulder, and it says, "How much you want to bet you survive?"
No. Just give me the deck.
He hands you a deck of cards and says, "I'll keep in touch."
Though victorious and gifted with power from his new patron, Thalminar had lost his two companions in the fight. He was punished for the loss of life on a mission he led based on the reading he had made. As penance, he was forced to draw another card, allowing the deck itself to determine his fate. He drew the Slayer card, with the image of a knight in armor facing a gargantuan dragon, all smoke and scales and devastation. As the card was drawn and disappeared from his hand, Thal felt a surge of energy as a brand or tattoo manifested on his left arm. It resembled the membranous wing of a dragon, lined with runes. Thal had been branded by the deck as a Slayer, and the sages of Fortune's Law deciphered that the brand would persist until Thalminar sufficiently slayed a designated quarry, and the deck of many things seemed to have chosen dragons as that quarry. With that, Fortune's Law told Thal his punishment would be living as an outcast from Avache until such a time as the brand had been removed. Upon doing so, he would be welcomed back with open arms. Thalminar, grieving his friends, processing the meaning of the deck of many things, and feeling the gleeful attention of the dealer, felt he had no choice but to play the hand he'd been dealt.